Hello and welcome in, friends. Welcome to another stream. My name is Doña, aka Doña the Light, and the baby, Kairu, is munching on a banana. Well, it's a teething banana, but it's still a banana. It still counts. Welcome to my stream. Today we're going to be discussing, talking about people pleasers. We're going to be talking about, no, don't take my banana. It's mine. We're going to be talking about, the hardest part of the recovery journey of being a people pleaser. If you're catching this live stream on Twitch, thank you for being here. Please feel free to contribute to the conversation. This and all other streams will always be community conversations. Woozy's here. What's up, Woozy? Thank you for redeeming a second in the chat. As always, this stream is sponsored by me, myself, and I. My Etsy shop, mental health focused clothing and healing jewelry. These rings and stones are created by yours truly. So yeah, we got pink stuff. If you celebrate Valentine's Day, buy some stuff. If you want to support me in a way that requires money, buy some stuff. Right? Look at him, Kyrie. Ain't he the greatest? He's like, he just makes me want to grab my toes. Alright, we got tons of stuff in here. We got shirts, we got rings, we got pendants, we got wall art, mugs, tumblers, hats, hoodies, journals, totes, shirts, hoodies, I think it's a hoodie spice, and stickers. So get some stuff. Here's my shop link. Get stuff. Do it. Alright. If you're catching this replay on YouTube, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, here's a link to my YouTube channel, chat. Subscribe, it's free. You're here, you might as well just subscribe. I mean, come on. Also, if you're catching this replay on YouTube, this is going to play out like a podcast, so don't feel compelled to watch the video. Just listen in. Just listen in. Yes, I am on Twitch. Good morning, Shaka. Lincoln's here.
Says, good morning.
Oh, good morning. Good morning, Lincoln. That was really creepy. It was my dragon's voice. Oh, I forgot to show y'all. Baby, can you do me a favor? Can you go get my little creation downstairs that I crocheted? Shaka, you gotta see this. It's creepy. It's the best. But yeah, so a couple weeks ago, that was creepy. Ouch. It's okay. It wasn't. It's not your fault. It's the voice that I selected for my dragon. But no one ever uses that, so I forget what she sounds like. I'm ready. Today we're gonna talk about being a recovering people pleaser. A couple weeks ago, Spuddy and I spoke about how to heal from people pleasing on our co-stream. But I feel like that topic deserves a lot more attention, conversation, etc. This dude is munching on some banana. So, thanks. Grover said it looks like an Among Us character. Well, no, he said Among Us characters don't have arms. So I was gonna give it arms. You guys ready? Ready? You ready? Look at it. Look at it. Look at it in all its glory. I was gonna stuff it with a sock. It's got legs. It's got ears. Doesn't that look exactly like my dragon? Doesn't it? Doesn't it look exactly like her? Can't you like not even tell the difference? So this is my spokesperson. Kerry, you can't have it. Ooh. He's like, I don't know if I want this thing. I love it. This required a lot of focus. I was only able to make it because the baby was sleeping. Yay, little creepy guy. So I gotta give it a name. I was thinking about arms still, but I think it's fine. I could actually like stuff it, like I said. There's still a hole in the bottom. It's not a very big hole, but Maybe I'll just leave it on my finger when I'm pointing at y'all. Like, you should do this. Okay, anywho. Lincoln says, I'm not a people pleaser, but it's hard to be with one when you feel devalued against others who demand their time. Ooh, what a beautiful perspective, Lincoln, out the gate. I feel that. Ooh, sorry, baby child. I feel that. I feel that a whole lot. And I think that definitely is a perspective that a lot of us don't consider. The fact that when we are in a relationship or just very close to someone who's a people pleaser, but they consider their relationship with you different than their relationship with others, and so they don't necessarily seek to please you. Because I feel like when it comes to being a people pleaser, there are certain people who you really, really strive to please the most. You know what I mean? Like, people who are maybe quote-unquote in power, or where there's some sort of power dynamic, you know, like your supervisor, your parents. Sometimes even, I don't know how to describe it. Kylie Crocodile says, I'm unsure if I'm a people pleaser, but I don't think so. Nah, babe, you're not. You be telling people how it is. So, there's an account that I follow on Instagram that I want y'all to check out if you haven't already. I'm going to be reading a post. Here is the post. I'll link it in the chat. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh my goodness gracious. Bam. Okay, so the Instagram account is called The Holistic Psychologist. And this post is 7 signs you're a people pleaser and how to break free. Right? So she describes people-pleasing tendencies within the post itself, and then in the caption talks about how to break free. So, for those of you that are unsure if you're a people-pleaser, let's talk about it. So, reason number 1, or not reason number 1, but sign number 1 is that you believe that if you upset someone, you're a bad person or you've done something wrong. So that's sign number 1. You believe that if you upset someone, you're a bad person or have done something wrong. So that's like guilt and shame, right? Number 2 is that you tolerate behavior that is hurtful and tell yourself people don't mean it. Sign number 2. You tolerate behavior that is hurtful and tell yourself that people don't mean it. Sign number 3. In social situations, you struggle to be present because you're more focused on making sure everyone likes you or making sure everyone is comfortable. Kelly Crocodile says people do that in friendships and relationships. Absolutely. Absolutely. So sign number 3 is in social situations, you struggle to be present and are more focused on making sure everyone likes you or everyone is comfortable. Okay? So you can't be present because you're basically like trying to not only serve people but appease people the entire time. Sign number 4 is you struggle to say no and often give long explanations to relieve your own guilt. So if someone asks you to do something and you don't want to do it, if you can muster up the courage to say something other than yes, you end up over-explaining yourself as to why you can't do it. Babe, Kelly Crocodile does love the word no. He does, especially when it comes to children. Fun fact. All right. So again, sign number... What side are we on? Sign number 4. You struggle to say no and often give long explanations to relieve your own guilt. Lincoln says, I embrace the word no. It's a wonderful word. Sign number 5, you regularly apologize even if you didn't cause the issue. For example, someone bumps into you at the store. Oh, I'm sorry. Or someone yells at you and you apologize for making them mad. The first one, no?
The first one I do.
Oh.
Sometimes.
You apologize for bumping into someone at the store? That one's tough.
I apologize to people
When they yell at you?
That should be apologizing to me sometimes.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, and then sign number 6 is, the thought of saying, no, I'm not comfortable with that, makes you cringe. Not only does it make you cringe, but it brings up fear. So there are feelings of fear when you think about, bless you, when you think about telling someone that you are not, no, I'm not comfortable with that. Okay? Sign number 7 is you often feel resentment or like your relationships don't have equal energy exchanges. This was me. This was me to the max. And it was so frustrating because I felt like, why do the people that I connect with, it was always like platonic relationships, like typically with women. I should have put that downstairs. I was struggling to figure out why the women in my life, or like the women who I sought to be friends with, would constantly only contact me when they needed something, only contact me when they were like struggling with something. And it took me a little while to look myself in the mirror and say, ooh, I'm creating this situation. I would essentially meet women and basically be like, I'm finna be your life coach. But I wouldn't say that. I would just be like, we're gonna be best friends. And I would do my very best to, similar to the other sign, make sure they were happy, make sure they liked me, make sure they were okay in like all situations. I still had some sense of boundaries, but for the most part, I was doing everything I could to make sure this person liked me. And a lot of times that involved like giving a lot of support and advice, and it wasn't reciprocated. It was just me pouring, which, like I mentioned yesterday, in a life coaching client relationship is fine because the energetic exchange is that this person is paying you, or they're providing some sort of something for your services. Lincoln says, the reason I struggle with being in a relationship with people who can't see the value of the relationship, because, hold on. It's the reason, misread that. Lincoln says, it's the reason I struggle being in a relationship with people who can't see the value of a relationship because they're too focused on making everyone happy. Exactly. Right. And there's going to be situations and times and events in your relationship in which you're not happy. There's going to be things that make you uncomfortable. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? But if you constantly are asking someone, are you happy? Are you happy? Are you happy? Did I make you happy? That's a struggle. Kelly Crocodile says, you should say you struggle to. You're telling 75 trillion cells that. May you just haven't found your people yet. Oh, right. But I did struggle to. I don't struggle to anymore because I've come to realize how I was basically courting people. I was basically courting people saying, hey, I'm Doña. I be healing people and shit. Let me heal you forever and ever. Nah. You ain't got to provide any kind of substance to me. All you got to do is, like, tell me all your problems. And that, right, come get this court. That constant communication of that person, reaching out all the time and saying, hey, I need help with this. Hey, I need help with this. Hey, I need help with this. In the beginning felt like, oh my goodness, this is such a wonderful friendship and relationship because we're great communicators, you know what I mean? And of course they would ask the very surface question, how are you doing? But it would never go any further than that. Hey Raylene, welcome in, boo-boo. Good afternoon. So yeah, that one, I definitely identify with that one. A whole lot. You often feel resentment or like your relationships don't have equal energy exchanges. Yeah, you're giving more than you receive. Absolutely. And then sign number 8 is when we're people pleasing, we're within an evolutionary response system called fawn. Fawn is when we appease others in order to avoid threats or danger. Some of us have learned to fawn because if we didn't, we would experience abuse or shaming. I want y'all to hear that again. Fawn is when we appease others in order to avoid threats or danger. Some of us have learned to fawn Because if we didn't, we would experience abuse or shaming. Right, Cali Crocodile says, people stay in that mood when they are scared. Absolutely. Right? So, the first thing that she writes in the caption is, understand that people pleasing is a safety adaptation. And that goes directly back to the last slide. Something we do to protect and something that we can unlearn with practice. So this isn't something that has to, be your life forever and ever and ever. But of course, just like anything that we want to address, the first step is coming into awareness. Not only coming into awareness, but holding yourself accountable, like moving into accountability. There was a post that I was watching on TikTok yesterday. I'm not even going to talk about what he was reacting to because it drove me insane. But, excuse me. He posted a video about, and he's a therapist too. I forget his name. I think his name on TikTok is like the confrontational therapist, something like that. But he posted a video saying, he was talking about self-diagnosis, and he was saying that there's a lot of value in self-diagnosis. Like, if you can self-diagnose yourself as a people pleaser, that's wonderful, because having a diagnosis, an actual legitimate diagnosis with a psychiatrist or whoever, is a luxury, and it's not something that everybody has access to. So there is a lot of value in self-diagnosing. However, there's no point in self-diagnosing or getting a diagnosis otherwise if there's no accountability on your part behind the diagnosis. Like, if you have determined, and I know people pleasing isn't diagnosis, but if you have determined that you are a people pleaser, what are you gonna do about it? You know what I mean? Like, are you going to change your behavior? His example was people with ADHD, right? People with ADHD perhaps are forgetful. Right? And so let's say that they forget something and they say, oh, it's because of my ADHD. And the reality is, oh my goodness, the dragon is being bred. She looks more like a Pokemon now. Oh, look at that little smirk. Oh my goodness, now it looks even more like my little character. Look.
You can put it up to your character.
Look at the smile. It's
That's the thing that hides in your dragon's closet at night.
No, it's not. Did y'all hear him? He said this hides in my dragon's closet at night. Look at her little feet. All right. Anyways, like I was saying, before I was rudely interrupted, before I got distracted. If you know, based on your self-diagnosis or diagnosis otherwise, that you have ADHD, and you know that it makes you a forgetful person, then that means that you have to take accountability for that and put systems in place to help you not forget. You can't just be, like, forgetful and just be that it's, that it's just okay, Right, Cali Crocodile says sabotaging my stream. I should. Yeah. Anyways, Lincoln says, I tried to be a quote-unquote therapist incorrectly in a past relationship very long ago to redirect my ex's people-pleasing back to me. Just turned out that I'm a selfish person who demands a lot of water and toiled soil. Oh, Lincoln. Lincoln, let's talk about this. Okay, real quick, let me put this back in the chat. This is the post that we are referring to in this conversation. It is by an account called The Holistic Psychologist on Instagram. Oh no! I clicked away and now it's gone. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I sabotaged the hell out of that relationship. I mean, it happens. We as long as you learn something, I hope. Hopefully. But anywho. So we went through all the signs, and now we're talking, she liked me, but I hated how we didn't bond a lot. I gotcha. So again, how to break free from people-pleasing. Number one, like we mentioned, is understand people-pleasing is a safety adaptation, something we do to self-protect, and something that we can unlearn with practice. So first and foremost is set clear boundaries. Practice boundary setting. I love how she says practice boundary setting. Not just set boundaries, but you got to practice doing so. You can't get better at something if you don't practice it. And again, it can be literally anything. Like when I talk to my clients about boundary setting, I let them know and I encourage them, like, okay, it's cool to know that there are like 6 boundaries that you want to set, but let's start slow. Let's start slow and let's start small, you know? Let's start with a boundary that that would quote unquote lead to the least amount of confrontation, and let's role play, you know? Let's talk about if I was the person that you're setting the boundary with. Let's have the conversation, you know, because sometimes just saying it out loud, even though I'm not the person, is difficult. So I got your back. And again, for anybody watching this, I'm a self-love coach. If you need a coach to help you heal from your people-pleasing tendencies, unlearn your people-pleasing tendencies, I got your back. You let me know. Look, here's my little diddle. Is that not it? What's my command? What's my command? Wait a minute. The audacity. I'm so confused. Stream elements. How could you? You can find a list of all commands here. What kind of... Hold on, y'all. Nobody move. Everybody stay there. Speak amongst yourselves. It's not even Stream Elements that I have my whatchamacallit through. It's Streamlabs. Everybody pretend that didn't happen, okay? Lincoln, I need you to remove your face palm emote. Because it makes me feel bad about myself. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. It's coaching. If you're interested in coaching, click that link right there and schedule a call. Anywho, oh, it's command. The other one is command. What didn't happen? Exactly. All right, step number 2. I mean, not step number 2. Step number 3. Get comfortable disappointing people. Adults are capable of handling disappointment. I am speaking directly to whoever needs to hear this. Adults can handle being disappointed. It is okay if someone tries to get you to move a certain way and they say, I'm so disappointed in you. That's okay. It hurts like hell, right? Like, that's like, I mean, every freaking Disney movie has made that like a shot to the heart. If somebody you love says they're disappointed in you, you're like, oh, and you can't go on. And then that song, Can't Go On. Who sings that song? Celine Dion? Near, far. You know that song? That song. That song plays. So it's okay. Is it going to be difficult? Absolutely. But it's possible. Here go Lincoln. Devil's advocate time. We're going to have to talk about the devil's advocate thing because it don't make no sense. Right. There we go. Thank you, Raylene. Raylene. Devil's advocate time. It is hard to help people pleasers because they refuse to take the same level of help they throw at others. See, but I could also say that about like 78% of black women because they don't believe that they need the help. And this is more so about placing higher importance or more value on being the helper versus being the helped. But that goes far past being just, that's more than just being a people pleaser. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the reason why, one of the reasons why my mama won't call the damn grief counselor. Like, even though out of her mouth, she spoke and said, I'm definitely going to need to speak to someone outside of the family about the passing of my older brother. Totally understood. Makes perfect sense. You're grieving. No problem. Will she do it? Nah. Not at all. Not at all. Kelly Crocodile says she wants to mourn her own way and not be told anything. Exactly. But like, but yeah. Hey, Michaela. How you doing, boo? Welcome into the chat. Sir? Sir? What do you need? What do you need? You just gotta use your language. Just use your words. You good? Okay. Alright, so get comfortable disappointing people. Right, adults are capable of being disappointed, and we will naturally disappoint people throughout our life. Number 2, or not number 2. What? Number 4. Notice your patterns of over-explaining or over-apologizing. Notice. Become aware of. And in one of the videos that I posted on my YouTube, I think it's about people pleasing. Or maybe I wrote this on Reddit. I don't know. I wrote it somewhere. But if you have people in your life, like if this is something that I was trying to recover from, I would ask Callie Crocodile to help me. I'd be like, look, babe, I need you to like touch me on the arm or something every time I over-explain or over-apologize or say sorry to some stranger for the weather. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm so sorry that it's raining. Why? Why am I sorry that it's raining outside? I didn't do it. It's not my responsibility to control the weather. Like, if you don't have anybody in your space who is safe enough to help you with that, then, when Callie Crocodile does it, I say, why? He did it this morning. I was on the floor stretching, and he's sitting on the bed. He's sitting on the bed dying. But he was like watching a video or something or a reel, and it made a noise, and I looked at him, and he was like, sorry. And I was like, I didn't say anything at that point. But there's no reason for the sorry. The look was more like, oh, that's where it came from. You know what I mean? But yeah, I do my best to, if he says sorry to me for random stuff that doesn't need it, I'll be like, why? Why are you sorry? And he'd be like, yeah. But then, yeah, like he said, it gives him a chance to think about it. You know, why did I say that? Anywho, but I don't be like, I don't, yell at him or say, why'd you say sorry? There's no point you saying sorry. You know, I'm not aggressive with it or anything. What do you need, little baby? I'm so confused. Are you sleepy? Meow, meow. Meow, meow. Okay. Lincoln says, my mom taught me to reply to people like that. Stop being a sorry person. Damn.
That's old school.
That sounds so sad.
I have an aunt that says that.
Really?
That's Lorraine.
Oh, I could definitely hear Auntie Lo saying that. Oh my goodness. Stop being a sorry person.
Stop being a sorry person.
That makes me right. It makes me so sad.
Okay.
All right, so to go along with notice your patterns of over-explaining or over-apologizing, she says this is a habit response that we use to help soothe our guilt. Ironically, it can bring up even more anxiety in ourselves and others. Very interesting. Number 5 is unlearn self-sacrifice as a badge of honor. Unlearn it. Unlearn self-sacrifice as a badge of honor. Do you believe it? No? Okay. Allowing bad treatment or neglecting ourselves as we meet the needs of others doesn't make us a good person. In reality, if we don't meet our own needs, we can't meet the needs of others. We talk about this a lot, y'all. We can't. It's just not a thing. It's definitely not a thing. And number 6 is my favorite. Ooh. Be kind to yourself. People pleasers ironically tend to be very tough on themselves. Creating a healthy relationship with yourself means speaking to yourself in kind ways, honoring that you have good intentions, and knowing it's okay to please yourself too. Let's talk about pleasing yourself, y'all. It sounds totally inappropriate, but it should happen. Can I copy this? Oh, I can pin it. That's how people do it.
_lemon says, you are the best streamer.
Aw. Thank you, Michaela. You're so sweet. I appreciate you, love. Raylene says, honestly, the real way to people please is to take care of yourself, because then you're the best version for others. I appreciate that. You better preach, Raylene. You better preach. Self-care is important. It is very, very important. It's very, very important. It's just that I mean, self-care is one of those things that, again, has become a buzzword, right? Like someone being toxic, or there's a ton of them. There's good vibes only. There's tons of things that have become very popular, but people have not learned or haven't been taught how to like individualize that experience. Self-love, when I see it, especially on Instagram and other social media platforms, it's always like, little baby, what happened? Oh, okay, you're sleepy. Baby, can you change his diaper real quick? I think he's gonna fall back asleep. Hold on, sir. We got lots of attachments right now. Hold on. I always see it as like, because again, if it's on social media, then typically it has to be something that's like visible. You know what I mean? Yay, it's a daddy. Near, far, wherever you. Okay. Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, live, laugh, love. Exactly. Just girly things. Yo, Raylene. All of that. It's like trendy, catchy phrases, blah, blah, blah. It's like these videos of women doing their skincare routines and their hair care routines and doing their nails and like getting massages and like taking naps and all that stuff. Right. Wait, why do all the biggest self-care slogans come in 3 words? I don't know. There's something about that trilogy that just works. And I'm not saying that those things aren't self-care. Like, as a mother, I was just talking to Cali Crocodile Grover last night. Right, the Divine Trilogy. I was just talking to him last night about, like, and this is something we could totally have another stream about. Maybe I'll talk about this tomorrow. About how, 99% of the day, I'm mom. You know what I mean? Like, he has other roles that he, we both have roles that we are in. Like, I have my role as a life coach. I have my role as like DJ's teacher. I have my role as a wife, a partner. But even within all of those roles, like, I'm still mom. Like, even when I'm in my life coaching sessions, I'm still mom because the baby's typically with me. DJ's still here, you know what I mean? Like, even though he's not presently in the room, I still have to, like, listen out, make sure nothing's catching on fire, which DJ's fine. Like, he does great with independent play for the most part. But, yeah, so, like, those things specifically, even just taking the time to go somewhere and do those things would be great. But the self-care for me wouldn't necessarily be in the act of those things. The self-care would be in getting out of the house. Also tell DJ I said hi. I will. He's not here right now, though. He's at his granny's house. He'll be back later. Y'all will see him tomorrow morning. But thank you, Michaela. I appreciate that, love. But self-care also looks like addressing people-pleasing tendencies. Self-care also looks like accepting hi DJ tomorrow. Self-care also looks like saying yes to help when you always say no. I've got it. I'm good. No thanks. You know what I mean? And then on the other side, saying no when people are constantly asking you to do things. Like, all of those things are also self-care. But you can't put that in a video. You know what I mean? Like, and you can't make it look like a blog post or a vlog with like all the nice soft lighting and the music and the pouring of the tea and blah blah blah. Like, that would actually be a really interesting experiment if like that was the imagery, but like the background was conversations, you know what I mean, about saying no more often and exercising boundaries and yada yada yada. Self-care also looks like placing that boundary and letting somebody be disappointed. All of those things are also taking care of self, practicing self-compassion, being gentle with yourself, and a whole bunch of other things, you know what I mean? But again, because those things, it's a baby. Because those things are not aesthetically pleasing, those aren't the things that we equate to self-care. All of the things that we equate to self-care, for the most part, I'm not going to say completely 100%, but for the most part are those things that are aesthetically pleasing, you know? Oh, oh, oh. Ooh, don't take daddy's bracelet. Goodness gracious. Oh my goodness, with the drool. Just daddy sabotage. Relene says, hardest part of the people-pleasing journey right now is going full send on every single time I don't like doing something. At the moment, I only don't if it's bad enough, but I'm working to communicate with everything. I feel that.
Uncomfortability is okay, though, too. Sometimes uncomfortability is okay.
Yeah, but it's...
People run away from that, too, and that's not good either, because you get complacent.
Yep. And then you just start dealing with whatever is happening because what you're used to is what's comfortable. You know what I mean? Huh?
That's your mom.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100,000%. And it's funny because I see so many people who do share their healing journeys, and a lot of them will share, like, yeah, you know, I'm at this age and I'm still healing, or I'm just out taking my healing seriously. So this whole thing about, like, oh, well, you know, that person's just set in their ways and they just, you know, they can't really grow if they wanted to. And I'm like, nah, all it literally takes is accepting the fact that you are going to be uncomfortable, but knowing that being uncomfortable right now is going to yield such better results in the future. Hi, Spuddy Love. Welcome in, boo. Kairu, do you want to go to sleep? Do you want to go to sleep? Why are you making that face? Oh my oh goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's a baby transfer. It's a baby transfer. Oh. Oh. Talk to the people. Oh, where'd daddy go? Oh, don't lick my head. What are you gonna... It's a baby. Yeah, that you really just have to say, and I really love the way Steve Harvey put it, right? Steve Harvey was talking about these women who are in relationships for a really, really long time, and who stay in these relationships even though they're absolute turd, right? Just poop on a Triscuit, just the worst. So many things are wrong, and they do not like it, and all this stuff. But they stay in the relationship because a part of them thinks, like, well, I've already put in this much time, you know, I would feel whatever if I just wasted this, right? So Steve Harvey's question, which is the question that you literally have to ask yourself. My mom is going to be 63 this year, you know? Let's say that she's been... Really?
It's close, yeah.
Nice. So let's say that she's been experiencing, I don't know, let's just say she's been depressed for the past 5 years, you know, and she's struggling to figure out if it's worth it to move forward and do something different. The question you got to ask yourself is, do you want 5 more years of this? Because it's not going to change unless you change, you know? Preach. You heard it here first. From the babes, from the mouth of babes. That's the question that you have to ask yourself. Right, tell him, Kairu. For however long you've been experiencing it, do you want however many more years of that? Because no, it's not going to get better. You can wait for that person to change. You can wait for that job to change. You can wait for situations to change. And the honest truth is, nothing is going to be different if you don't choose to be different. So hire me as your self-love coach, because I got you. Okay? I got you. I had to yell that. You know, that's important. Because getting started with the change can be hard, right? Like, Lincoln says, I don't need love. Lincoln, yes, you do. You do need love. Not only can getting started be, right, getting started can be, oh, it's the face eating. It's happening. Oh my goodness. No. Lincoln's throwing a temper tantrum. Lincoln, we gotta talk to your inner child. put Lincoln away. Let baby Lincoln come out to play. We need to talk to him.
You don't want to do no shadow work.
There. Lincoln, just let me love you. Let me help you. But yeah, so getting started is hard enough, right? Throw self on the ground and pounce. Oh, Lincoln. Getting started is already difficult. Getting started, making the decision that you want to do something different, and then starting to do, to make small changes. And then you might get to a point where you're like, okay, well, I made these changes, but like now I don't know what to do next. I got you. I brings Lincoln a snow cone. Kairu, can I, baby child? You sound ravenous. Ow. Sir. Goodness gracious. Anyways, depends on the flavor. Choose wrong and I'll be even more upset. Tell us the flavor, Lincoln. Tell us the flavor.
I'll tell you what, bro.
Oh my goodness. Y'all, this is really how it be though. Pineapple. Well, Cali Crocodile got you red, so you get red flavor.
That. That's like, because it fits what I put.
Dole Whip. Oh, so sweet. Lincoln, we got your back. You need us to mail you snow cones? Is that what's needed? You need to have a slow. I can send you one of these. Do you want me to send you one of these, Lincoln? It's got feet. Maybe it'll look a little better on my second try. You know what I mean? But I just want to let you know that it's gonna be purple because that's all I got. It's full of love. So much love. Look at all the love in that face. Okay. So Lincoln says, for real though, people pleasing in intimate relationships is a huge problem for your boy. I got out of that situation in the late thousands and never healed it. You made it so well. Oh, thank you. Lincoln, seriously, I got you. Like, for real. I got you. And I'll send you one of these. Free of charge. Right. Raylene, get it? Yeah. You see the smirk? It's a smirk. All right, anyways. I'm going to start sending those to all my clients. You got a free prize inside. Like a box of cereal. Now that you know that cycle. You good, sir? Don't allow it anymore if you can help it. Right. But if you're trying to heal, Lincoln, let's get into it. Because you absolutely deserve it. You deserve to be loved and cherished and embraced, not only by yourself, but by other people. But you gotta let people in. You gotta let people love you. And that can be difficult because it's scary as hell. It is absolutely very, very scary. But what the? Damn it, babe. I'm finna ban my husband, y'all. He's getting banned. Spuddy said, hey. We're supposed to be talking about people pleasing, okay? Yeah, Cali Crocodile people pleasing. Bye. Homie giving me a cheap therapy in the form of a cigarette. Cheap therapy. It's supposed to be a blunt. Cali Crocodile said, now that you know, do better. Hit this. This is the type of family that we are cultivating, friends. Oh my goodness. It's true. It's right. Healed heart, damaged lungs. Lincoln, you don't need him. I got you. They heal. Do they? Do they heal? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's just a direct correlation. You heal your heart, then you got damage your lungs. Oh my gracious. Anywho, my face hurts. Yeah, I can't breathe. It's so funny. Yes, little baby. Mama. Why you gotta grab my lip though?
That's what he does to me. He puts his hand in my mouth.
Yeah, he did that yesterday while I was eating.
Puts his entire hand in my mouth.
I was like, sir,
and then
why?
Tries to grab my jaw.
Yeah. He's like, you don't need these teeth. Yeah. All right. People pleasing. If any of these things, let's just recap. You have my DM. I'm willing to talk it over. It'd help with my life currently. I got you. Let's do it. Let's do it, boo. All right. Quick recap. Because we got a little off track, y'all. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. All right. So the post that I'm referring to is pinned at the top of the stream. I didn't get to watch your healing journey stream, so I'm not sure if you've dealt with it, but what was the hardest part for you? Marlene always asks the best questions. So, I don't know if I talked about my whole healing journey. My healing journey has been tumultuous. Is that a word? That's a word, right? I don't know exactly what it means, but the hardest part for me when it comes to people pleasing was I didn't struggle with like tolerating bad behavior. I didn't struggle with let me see. I would say for me, I did do some over-explaining when I had the chance to say no, or when I got used to saying no. When I gave myself permission to say no, I still over-explained. In addition, my biggest struggle was, what's it called? Like, imbalanced relationships. Reaching out to, like, women who I wanted to be friends with, and basically coming up to them and saying, I'm here to make sure that you were always happy and you were always completely satisfied. 100% customer service score. And I was essentially like trying to coach them. Like I was trying to be their therapist. And I think it was because a part of me knew that if I could be there to support them in whatever life struggles, that they would always talk to me. You know, like we would always have conversations. Come to find out that was not true. The last time this happened was about 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, with this girl that I met at the gym. And she always used to talk to me about her relationship with her husband. And I would always, Eileen says, yeah, they would always kind of pay you back in being your friend. Kind of. I mean, it was like we didn't have an actual friendship because there was no reciprocity in our relationship. It was just me providing all of these things for her, support, emotional, this, and blah, 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 blah. And she didn't provide any of it for me because I started off the relationship like, I just want to be here to make sure, again, that you're happy and you're always this and you're always that. And, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, friend, like, the conversations that we would have and the fact that she would always reach out to me, like, that made me feel like, okay, we have a great relationship. You know, we're talking all the time. Of course we have a great relationship. But the reality is there was no reciprocity. And it took me a couple months to see, you know, that I was starting to get really frustrated at, you know, kind of asking myself, like, how come she doesn't show up for me the way that I show up for her? And that's something that I hear from people a lot. How come people in my life don't show up for me the way that I show up for them? And the honest truth is, Lincoln says this is my issue. Oh, Lincoln! The honest truth is, it's our responsibility to get down to the bottom of it. Because if we look at things like a math equation, maths, we are the constant variable in every single equation. we could have exponents, we could have other variables, etc., etc. But if we are x, x is always going to be there, right? So we are the constant. So we are the ones that we have to evaluate. In addition, we are the only person who we can control. I can't control the way people treat me, but I can control what I allow, right? I can control, looking at it like math the issues. Exactly. Like it says, looking at it like math, the ish on both sides are not equal. Exactly. It is an imbalanced chemical equation. Okay? Stoichiometry, y'all. Stoichiometry. That was another like I liked in chemistry because it was math. Anyways, I feel you. I feel you 100,000%, Lincoln. And it took me a while because for the better part of my life, I prided myself on, not the chemical equation, I prided myself on being there for people when they were going through hard things. But growing up in a single parent household with a black mother, I was not comfortable sharing my things with other people. It was just like, no, like, I got you, but don't worry about me because I'm good. And I would just, like, hold everything inside. So that's where these very imbalanced, unequal relationships started to, like, yeah. And I did not have a solid idea of what a reciprocal relationship looked like. I always used to just equate it to, well, if I reach out to them, they respond. You know what I mean? Like, we talk all the time. You know, we're constantly in communication with each other. Why do you look so vicious right now, little baby? We're constantly in communication with each other. You know, and so that felt like a relationship to me. But the reality is I just did not have any good examples of what a reciprocal relationship looked like. I did not see my mom bond with anyone. You know, I saw my older brother kind of bond with people, but I wasn't, like, into his relationships, you know? Like, I never asked questions, which I maybe should have. I probably should have, because there's definitely people that were in his life that were, like, legit friends, like, roll dogs, like, good friends. My twin brother, too. My twin brother had some really, really solid friends. But, yeah, so... Ooh. Lincoln says, I grew up in a single-ish household. Seeing parental bonding and holding the couple's time is highly valued is a strong issue for me when dealing with people who can't see or don't want to hear that. I hear that. I hear that absolutely, Lincoln. And it sounds like, you know, you just, that's your right. Like, it's your right to want to connect with someone who also places a high value on that kind of time and bonding and stuff like that. Like, it's not that your expectations are too high or anything like that. Like, you have every right to want those things. Raylene said, did your mother ever vent to you or lean on you for stuff in a one-sided emotional way as a child too? Or did that come from her not having other adult relationships? I can't think of specific instances when I was a child, but I'm sure that she did when I was younger because she does it now. Like, she just comes in my house and starts talking about whatever is bothering her and how she doesn't understand how this person moves this way and blah, blah, blah. So, absolutely, Raylene. And, you know, that makes it a lot clearer as to why that's the way I show up for people. And so, of course, in this heart-based business as a life coach, I have to now balance this. Really? Why are you yelling? Sir. Apparently this topic makes Kyrie feel very passionately. You don't know. Kelly Crocodile says, yes, she vents. Gotcha, mine did too. My mom would treat me like a therapy client for years. Oof. Lincoln says, my mom would do it in various forms of talking or feeling as if I'm the man of the house. It only reinforced a guard dog mentality and hatred of men being inside our home. I struggled to accept my current stepdad because of it. I feel that. So there's just a lot of things that have piled on starting in our childhood, as always, and then kind of being further reinforced throughout our life, that we have to get down to the bottom of and address those issues. But yeah, so for me, the one-sided relationships, that's what I struggled with the most, as my child eats my hand. You are in it to win it right now, sir. But I recognized, like I mentioned, I really started getting into the nitty-gritty healing, like right before I met Grover. But I recognized that the reason why I was in such one-sided relationships was because that's what I tolerated. You know what I mean? It doesn't take anything to say, well, it sounds like, here's the thing. I felt that if I told someone, you know, I don't like that every time you reach out, you come to me with a problem, that I would be losing friends. And the truth is that I would be. But, excuse me, the people that I'd be losing didn't need to be in my life in the first place. But that's the hardest pill to swallow. Because as a people pleaser, or someone who believes that, you know, you kind of serve as that sounding board for everyone in relationships, or every kind of situation, it can be really difficult to say, I'm going to do this, and could potentially make people not want to speak to me anymore. This could potentially make me, you know, not friends with this person anymore. Or, you know, this family member not speak to me anymore because I set boundaries. But it's a part of life, you know? Exactly. Raylene says, it's the fear of being alone or not valued when you know that you can help people. And so, in this heart-based business career choice of being a life coach, I still get to help people, but the value for me is that they are paying me for my services and paying me for my time. You know what I mean? Lincoln says, so in turn you devalue others if you don't have a balance. You mean like from my perspective or from the other person's perspective? Because I still place a high value on others.
Hey.
He is. You want to hang out with Daddy? I thought he was going to go back to sleep. Lincoln says from the other person's perspective. Exactly. And so, again, it took me a long time to even see that I was doing this, and I had to take accountability and do things differently. And now it's at a point essentially where, like, I'm down for people to ask me for advice, but I won't always answer. You know what I mean? Like, people will reach out and say, oh my goodness, I could use some help with this. I might give them a few bits and pieces, and I'll straight up say, like, hey, if you want to go further, if you're trying to get into this further, I'm a life coach. Like, you got to pay me for my time. And that also shows me that the person is serious, because I can't tell you how many times I've offered advice to someone and they don't freaking use it. They just want to hear it, and then they're constantly coming back to you with the same problem. That's how my friend was that I met at the gym. Same problem over and over and over. Lincoln says, I'm curious to hear Callie's point of view on this too. How did he deal with this? How did he deal with what specifically, love? You're talking about, like, from growing up with his mom who used to vent and stuff like that, or with my people pleasing? How did you deal with my people pleasing?
I'll just remind you when you're doing it. That's it.
He said he would remind me when I was doing it.
That's about it.
It didn't really spill over as much into our relationship, though. By the time that I had met him, I was very aware of it. So,
Sure, I just healed from a relationship just like that before. I had kind of been over it by the time I met you.
Yeah, and he said that he had healed from his. He was doing a whole lot of healing before. Both of us were, like, basically cocooning before we met each other, and getting really deep and uncomfortable in our healing, like almost immediately before me. Like it was in alignment as far as that goes. But yeah, and then my previous relationship, I don't even think he noticed that it was something that I struggled with, because we just didn't have that intimate of a relationship, honestly. Yeah.
So I always didn't feel valued, or always enough value. Based off the high amount of gaslighting.
Right. Raylene says, to be honest, some people don't even change when paying for services. Might mean not charging enough, though. I understand, trust me. And again, like, all I can control is me offering it and me providing the service for them. They still have to do the work. And I still have the opportunity to say, yo, we've been working on this one problem. This one problem for, 3 months. Or a month. Or whatever. I would say after about a month of still attacking that same problem, we got to have another conversation. Like, okay, there's got to be something deeper than this, based on, us constantly having the same conversation and you saying, I just can't do it, I just can't do it, I just can't do it. Okay, well, what is driving you? You know what I mean? Like it says, his loss, Callie's gain. My gain. Excuse me. Yeah, there's absolutely something deeper. There's gotta be something deeper. Like, if someone tells me that they just can't set a boundary, okay, well, who specifically are you having the most trouble setting a boundary with? Is it your supervisor? Oh no, I placed that one, no problem. Okay, is it your sister? No problem. I set one with my sister. Okay, is it your dad? Yeah, that's the person who I'm having the most trouble setting a boundary with. Okay, why? Because chances are, at the end of the day, dad's opinion is what means the most to that person. You know what I mean? And so setting that boundary, again, goes just back to what Raylene was mentioning, as far as feeling as though if you set that boundary, you're going to be alone and you're going to be lonely, and that person is going to just completely abandon you. And healing from that is a whole nother process, because, as I mentioned, throughout this healing journey, you're going to lose people. And you hear that and you think, oh yeah, no problem, like, I'm going to lose people, that's fine. But then once the actually hits the fan, once the schnitzel hits the fan, and you actually begin losing people, it's not easy to just move forward and say, yeah, I'm losing people and everything's fine. No, because now you have another layer. And this is why healing is so like this and that and this and that. Because, okay, you set a boundary, you disappoint someone. Okay, no problem. Like, disappointing someone and having that conversation might be easier. You set a boundary, you lose someone. Now you have to go through the grief of losing someone, on top of whatever else that you're still working on healing from. So this isn't something that's like, this is why, so many people try and really, really reinforce the fact that healing is not linear, because everything is not just, all right, you set a boundary and then you set a boundary and then you set a boundary and you set a boundary. That person hears it and it's like, yeah, sure, heard, no problem. Be happy to change my behavior, no problem. I understand that changing my behavior, like, they're not going to have a perfect response to whatever it is that you do. The perfect response of you setting a boundary would be someone saying, I hear you. What you're saying is valid. I appreciate you sharing your feelings. I will absolutely, adjust the way that I interact with you, because I value you as a person in my life. Like, that's a perfect response to a boundary. That's not going to happen, because not everybody that we, even if we set a boundary with the most emotionally intelligent person in our life, they might still feel some sort of way. You know what I mean? Raylene said, could there be a topic where we discuss when people pleasers, when people are too dangerous or whatever it is to not set a boundary? Is there ever a time when you shouldn't communicate, and what does that look like? What do you mean, Raylene? Like, instead of communicating the boundary, you should just, like, remove yourself? Or what do you mean? Tell me.
Dig a little deeper.
This absolutely goes to the person's behavior. If you have noticed that this person acts irate and dangerous with the slightest form of disappointment, has shown that pattern, then you are absolutely within your right to just not even, like, you have to make that discernment. And that's, again, we're having someone like myself, a self-love coach, so you can bounce those ideas off of and say, I'm feeling this type of way, but I just want to get a second opinion on it, because sometimes we can trust our intuition very strongly. Exactly. That's abuse. Exactly. Even if it's not physical. That's absolutely emotional abuse. And there are a lot of times when people are emotionally abusive, when setting a boundary, again, isn't worth it, because you don't want to subject yourself to their irate behavior just because they can't handle disappointment. You know what I mean? But yeah, sometimes you can trust your intuition, but there are other times where things that are happening in our head and the voice that's speaking to us in our head is speaking to us out of fear. And so we might not be able to trust whether or not it's true based on the situation. Like, if we fear setting a boundary with one specific person, we might fear setting a boundary with everyone, because we know that that specific person is going to react in a way that is emotionally abusive. But that's not true for everyone. You know what I mean? Yeah, I hear you. Raylene says, gotcha. Yeah, I never really hear boundary skips if it is someone abusive. Absolutely. And those are the kinds of situations in which we kind of have to choose our battles and determine whether or not it's worth it. Because at the end of the day, setting a boundary means that you still want to interact with that person. You know, because you're talking about rules of engagement. You're saying, hey, Lincoln, I really want us, we are friends. We're great friends. However, I'd appreciate if every time you came over, you didn't bring your dog. Or, no, if you bring your dog when you come over, I'm going to send you back home to take your dog home, because, our dogs don't get along or whatever. I'm setting that boundary because I want to continue the friendship. I want to continue the relationship. Not like, I don't know, I can't think of another one that involves Lincoln and his dog, but that would be a boundary where it's like, yeah, I want to continue our friendship and I want to continue our relationship, but this needs to happen in order for it to continue, whereas if you don't want to continue that relationship, then you can just go straight to, that's where it gets difficult, because, like, is it justifiable to just ghost that person? And just not speak to them anymore ever again. I would say yes. I would say if this person is not bringing anything of value to you in your life and your relationship, and there's no reason why you actually have to interact with this person, like they're the parent of your child or whatever. Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot, little baby. Then I would say ghosting is completely justifiable. Yes, I agree. And we can totally have a conversation about that too. And this would be a really, really great example of that, Oh. So much movement. So much. Like, if it's extreme stress, yeah, you can't figure out the issue. Exactly. But yeah, I feel like in that situation it would be justifiable. Okay. My loves, it has been a wonderful conversation. Oh, I saw it move. It looks like you need to go in your saucer so you can just wiggle around or go on the floor or something. Ooh, he's like, look at these shins. Look at these baby feet and these shins. Y'all want to see a baby foot? Ready?
Okay.
Wow! It's a baby foot, so adorable. As Kyrie reaches for it. He's like, give me that foot. Give me that foot. You move it too much. You can't even see it. Oh my goodness. Little baby foot. Yeah. Is that your foot? He's like, I mean, I guess. Oh, where are you going? Don't grab my glasses, sir.
I was going to.
Right. All right, loves. It's been a wonderful I know, right? About to kick the camera over. Wonderful conversation as per usual. Lincoln, I will send you a message. Raylene, I'll speak to you soon. For everyone that hopped in the chat today, thank you for contributing. For all the lurkers I just popped in to watch, I hope that this was a great conversation for y'all. Once again, if you're... Sir! If you're catching the... If you're catching this replay on YouTube, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's a great free way to support my channel. If you haven't done so already and you're here in the chat, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also give this video a thumbs up like. Leave a comment for the algorithm and all that jazz. I love you all. I will see you all tomorrow. And, oh yeah, purchase the merches. Don't forget. Don't forget to purchase the merch if you'd like to support me in ways that require money. We're gonna let this baby do some P90X or something. All right, loves. Have a beautiful day. Purchase that merches. Yeah. Any last words, Kyrie? Oh.
A lot of them.
Right. A lot of last words. Oh.
He's trying to get us. That's fine. It's failing.
You got it. Okay. Subscribe and watch the VODs on her channel to get her right. Monetized. Absolutely. Rewatch these on YouTube. Just put them on in the background. I'm trying to get monetized, y'all. Okay. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow. Bye.